Hello.
Hi, so nice to meet you. Ming Russell, Vice President of Pacific Marketing and Promotions.
I'm Laura Bonet. I'm H.H. Heffen's Executive Assistant.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited to see you today. I think we definitely both have an interest in seeing this album produced. They're such wonderful artists. Are you a Star fan?
Of course I'm a Star fan. I mean, Star not getting back together. I mean, it's almost as great as the Spice Girls when they got back together.
I know.
Maybe better, but who could be better than the Spice Girls? Really? It's true.
I'm a big music fan in my personal life as well. Even when it's not Pacific, I still go and see them. I've been to a few Heffen concerts.
Yeah? And
Yeah.
do you enjoy them?
So good.
There's, concerts, there's just something about that experience, and that's why I think it's great that the band is planning to do a concert as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we've both sort of agreed that it's very important. Ultimately, it would just be a big loss to the world. I mean, that seems a little dramatic, but I think for Star fans,
I think it's true. Absolutely.
We need this album to happen, I think, and I think we can find a way to make that happen.
I definitely think that's true.
Definitely.
Yes, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the reason why both of our bosses, Trigano and Heffen, they've had their past, but we don't have to be a part of that.
No,
our
agree.
focus here today can just be about the record, making the record happen, how to make that happen in a beneficial way. Just because they've had some disagreements in the past doesn't mean that has to affect what we're doing. And I think that it was smart of them to send us in their stead.
I think so too, and I think it's often, those artists, they get a little, of course they had artistic differences, unfortunately that happens, and I think it'll probably be better for us that we can just sort of think about the facts and the details. So...
Yeah, absolutely. So, just to get the ball rolling,
yes.
We do definitely have a strong desire to see this record on our Pacific label, and we do have 3 of the artists, so we have a lot of push and toward doing a Pacific record, but we would be willing to do $500,000 up front, and try and find some ways to make sure that you get your full investment for your artist, because we do want you to also be happy and participate in the record with us.
I think we definitely were very much hoping to have it on our record, as we feel that the only problem is that we feel we understand the sound better, and I think that that's a big problem for us, and I think that trusting a different company with this, I think would be very hard for my boss personally to agree to. And I think the only way we could do it, we'd definitely be at a higher price tag. We'd obviously prefer to stay with us, but if we had to go with your label, I think we'd want closer to $1 million and absolute control over every aspect of the record, just because... I think it's very important to us and the fan base, of course, that everything goes well with this, and we really feel that we can produce that product much better.
Explain to me a little bit. We want to have it on the Pacific label. There are things that we can give up. We can't give up the entire full control, but maybe we can find what your specific interest is as far as what is the essence of what Heffen Records feels is indispensable to making this record a success? Because keep in mind, we want to know what that is, not only because, we just want you to be happy. We want this record to be successful. So if you know of something that will absolutely make this record fly, please tell me what that is.
I think that Heffen just understands how to, just everything down to interacting with artists, all of the production of the record itself, understanding how to shoot album covers, things like that to just really make things successful and it's not even that, more like just understanding, be able to work with the artist one-on-one more.
So your bottom line is that you want the artistic control. Am I understanding you correctly?
That is very true. If we are giving up the producing it under our name, which is very important to us, we would need full artistic control.
What if we do this? We can't do $1 million and also artistic control. But, And also, we have an interest in controlling the marketing production. We have a very strong marketing production team, but I think we could use that to propel both of our labels. What do you think about this? We can't give you $1 million, but we'll give you 600,000.
Okay.
We will give you the total artistic control over the record, and I'm gonna have to really bring this to Trigano and tell him that it's the only way we could make this deal happen and let the record see the light of day. And I think I'll be able to convince him. But I think I'll also be able to convince you that even with a lower price tag, giving you what you want and also providing the marketing for this is going to be beneficial for us both. So let me present a potential package for you.
I think that if you could come up to 650, I think we would be very happy to cooperate on that. I think that that's something, I think it'd be tough for me to go back, and we would need recognition, of course, that we were kind of producing this alongside you. But at that point, I think would be able to do that.
What if we say we'll do almost that? We'll give you. How do you feel about 635? But wait, that's not it. We'll do a joint release party.
Okay.
We will put with Heffen Records on the actual record. That means your brand name will be on there. And when we go ahead and we do the ticket sales and the promo products, we'll give you 5% of that. And this is something that we've talked about, but we could do a pre-release. They've already recorded one song. We'll do an iTunes pre-release, and we'll give you the full 25%, even though we'll go ahead and fund it, getting it out there. We have that relationship with Amazon and Google Play, and we'll give you 25% of that. So it'll be like just slightly less than what you're saying, $635, but we'll pay all the costs for that record release and still put your name on everything. So when we have the sweatbands or, like the little rubber band bracelets that come out, those are going to be co-branded. So it'll be Pacific, but it'll say with Heffen Records. So we'll put together a full package, and you're going to benefit at every level. So not only are we going to be making up that difference in those percentages, so you're going to wind up getting more than $1 million that way.
I think that, we do have a quarter of the group. So in terms of this the 635 amount, I think we're comfortable there. But in terms of the promotional, I mean, we are providing you with one quarter of the group. So I think that it would just make sense to have a 25%. I think 25% is very good in terms of the promotional aspect of it. I think that's something that we deserve.
So there's a little bit of leverage as far as the percentage. The reason why the 25% doesn't make sense is because all the costs are being covered by Pacific. So the net, you're just getting the cream off the top. You're just getting the profit, and you're getting none of the costs. So that's why the 25% doesn't make sense. We're paying our staff of marketing. We're paying our production team. We're paying our advertising agency that bolsters and gets the word out about this, and they do those email blasts, and they have the customer lists, and so there are a lot of costs associated with it. I think we'd be more comfortable with something like 8%. How do you feel about 8%?
While I understand the costs and everything associated, I think I still think that we could get, I think 15 is appropriate, because I don't really see that 10%. I don't see your costs. We are also a record label, so we know how much these things cost, exceeding that mark. So I think that we would, I think we'd feel much more comfortable at 15%.
I've got to be honest with you. We're going to be in the red if we give you 15%. It's just a little bit too high, but I think that we can make it work at 12. Can we do 12%?
You know what? I think that 12 would be, that makes sense with your costs, and that we're still getting a good deal, and I think that would be great.
Okay.
Actually. And you know what? I think just because we're getting along so well, I think that maybe it might be time for us, because the whole conflict between our bosses happened years ago, and I think what we should do is maybe as a part of the promotion, we could have an interview we'll say, in Rolling Stone and Spin, maybe.
I know people at Rolling Stone and Spin.
Perfect. And we can have them do a joint interview with a picture, of course, promoting the album. But I think because their disagreement was so public, it will actually promote both of our brands very well to show that we can work together and hopefully
we'll have a photographer take their picture at the joint release party.
I think that would be perfect.
Yes.
I think it'll promote both of our brands and it'll show that our bosses can be adults and move on from like an unfortunate situation and all of that kind of stuff.
This is gonna look so good in the news. Everybody loves a little bit of gossip.
It's true, and it's a good kind of gossip as well.
Yes.
What I'm wondering is because as we have a lot of faith in your marketing department. I'm sure that you've done very well. I think that I'd like to talk about as sort of an option contract if the record goes gold, which of course we're big fans, so we think it will, but not everyone always feels that way. So to push through another record, I know we said I think this one maybe we could probably try to do within the next 6 months. I know they have to go on tour.
I think 6 months sounds like a really good timeline. Confidentially, this doesn't leave this room. We don't want this coming out. But I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous about these guys staying together.
I completely agree with you, and I think if we did, so if it goes gold, we'll do an option to renew, and we can obviously renegotiate things if we need to. And I think that maybe we need to work together to make sure this band doesn't sort of, just ruin both of our, now that we've had this nice conversation. And
we're setting our careers on the line on these clowns.
I think that maybe because of course the band has various issues. There have been some addiction problems, and of course some just drama queen activity.
Along. It's so hard. They're just prima donnas.
It's just very true.
Not everybody's Madonna.
Yes.
And Madonna, she's just one. So she could just bring in new people. We need all of these stars. Each one of them.
We need them to be together. I think that maybe we should have an on-call to tour with them and be with them all the time, an addiction counselor, and maybe just even a normal counselor to help them facilitate teamwork. We want to make sure they get to that second album and can maybe even do another tour, and that would be great for both of us as well.
And you want to go ahead and start this together with the first album, right?
Oh, definitely.
I think we'd be willing to do that. How are we going to pay for this? Is this something that you're willing to split 50-50 with us?
You know what, I think this, I think that would be completely fine. And I think that also maybe just to make sure time-wise that we're on track, we want to steamroll this through. We don't want to be. They've already started on the album. They've got the creative juices flowing. We want this album out within 6 months. Yes.
And I have heard that Northwestern has some legal interns. Maybe we could get some help in so that it's at no cost to either of us. We can help some people with their careers. And we can get some people, let's call them timekeepers. That is true. And they have that Sports Law and Entertainment Society. Maybe they would be a great person. I've heard there's some really great people in that program. Yes, I know. I have too. I think it would be great, and it would help their careers to work for a nice record label. And I have such an affiliation with Northwestern. I'm sure you did too. I went to Northwestern. I went to Northwestern too. Oh, another thing we have in common. Wonderful. Yes. So that sounds great. I just think that's a good way to ensure, the safety of the band and protect both of our investments. I completely agree with that. I think we should get the first album out within 6 months, get them touring as soon as possible. Take as much time as we need to have a good quality product, but really, I want to see 2 albums recorded within 12 months so that whatever happens with them later, and our upfront investment winds up being worth it, and they're not, most importantly, we care about the music. We care about the music. We want to see this album out. This could potentially be the last album. God forbid, knock on wood. I hope not. Happens. You don't know. Musicians, you never know. Exactly. The first album might not work out. We're really hoping that it's going to go gold. And we really believe in it, and I think with our cooperation, we can do that. If it goes gold, we'll give you the option. We'll do the second one, and we'll do the same terms, and we'll try and make sure with our assistants it takes no longer than 6 months to complete that one, so we make sure we get not just one winner. We want 2 blockbusters with this, because we got to do all we can. We got to do what we can, and we want our extra bonuses too. Where we want to look good. Well, I am actually very excited to go back to my boss with this deal, so perhaps we'll both
confirm everything, and then we'll meet and draft this agreement.
You know
and
what?
Get started.
I really think that we should draft it right now and make sure that we're
I
clear.
agree.
I have seen way too many deals that, they get started and you think everything's agreeable.
And those
All of a
vague
sudden,
terms.
exactly, those vague terms. So let's make sure that we nail down all the points right now.
Yes.
I've got a piece of paper right here. I'm happy to draft it. We'll draft it together. We'll
That's
be cooperating. Like there's no secrets. There's nothing hiding behind me. We're just gonna be
Let's do it.
trying to make this happen. Okay. So
Alright, so
we're happy with. We want the full exclusive marketing control.
yes.
You want the full artistic control.
control.
Again, you're not gonna like it,
And
but
we're not gonna like you
I'm-
having.
I
So I
know,
think
I know.
I think both of them. We just also need to sort of tell them that it's time to move on from their petty arguments. I think
Yeah.
too.
so we'll get 100% of the marketing control. You'll get complete 100% artistic control over the record.
Yes.
And we will want to get copies of the proofs. All the artists are going to want those. So we need to put that in the contract specifically.
Of
That's part of their
course.
individual artist contracts as well.
Of course.
We've got the $635 payment. Can we do
Yes.
that in 2 installments over 6 months? We'll do one on signing, one upon release.
that sounds
half
perfect.
and half.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do 3. There we go.
We can even do 3 and 335.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
We're
So we'll do-
attorneys. Math's not really our thing. It's fine. it's fine.
So $300 up front, and then upon release, we'll do the other $335 payment,
That sounds very good. To
and
us.
that'll leave the full rights in the
Yes.
ownership of Pacific. But as we agreed upon, we'll have their 12%.
on the promotional
on-
items and tickets from the concert,
Mhm.
things like that.
And that kind of stuff, like you wouldn't believe. It does add up. We get the hats done, we get the shirts done, we get lanyards, we've got little
Those
case
crazy
carriers.
fangirls just
Oh my god,
they
the
love it.
posters, it's insane. They go nuts. It winds up being good money. I mean, yes, we do have to have an artistic team. Yes, we're paying to have a full-time marketing team. Is it expensive? Yes, it is. Does it wind up being worth it?
Of course.
Of course it does. Of course it does. So
I think maybe in our contract with the band as well, we should make sure that they have to sign autographs and autograph merchandise after concerts as well. I think that will probably help keep them in check and maybe avoid some drug use during concerts and things like that. Hopefully, that might be
as far as the
something that we can
specific
do.
artist contracts, I'm gonna have to review those contracts.
Of course,
But
yes.
maybe what we can actually agree to today is that they'll be willing to do a special signing at the joint release. They're already required to do that by contract anyway.
That's
So
true.
why don't we do one-time signing
Yes.
at the release party, and then
We'll see how it goes on the tour as well.
it
because we
can
don't
be
wanna
they
make
can be
it
a little
uncomfortable
temperamental.
situation.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
I don't feel I feel a little uncomfortable promising that right now, but for the joint party,
That
we'll do a
sounds great.
signing at the joint party. So we're doing the joint release. We agreed to pay for it.
Yes.
So we have the joint release party. Pacific is funding. We're gonna get some promotional products out. We're gonna make sure we build the hype
Of course.
for the album.
Not
So
that everyone should be hyped already.
everybody's
I'm
already.
excited.
I mean, it's already in the news. I've
It's-
seen it in the music beats.
I'm very excited about this.
Yes.
Okay,
No.
and then in terms of, we already did 12%, and we're going to talk to our bosses. I really think it would be great to just have them sort of sit down and talk through their differences, probably before.
You know what? We're gonna put it in the contract, and this
Yes.
is what we're gonna do. Even if they don't like it, we have the power
That's true.
over the marketing and promotion. I have that authority. Do you have that authority?
Oh, definitely. We can make
If
this
for
work.
some reason they don't give us quite the story that we want, we're gonna release the old picture
Yes.
of them, and that's gonna be the story anyway. But
Oh, it'll be great. I agree with you.
But I
think
have
that's a good
but I
idea.
have full faith that we're going to be able to get them. They've already agreed to do this release party. I mean, they know that that's part of it. They're both going to show up. How hard is it going to be to convince them to shake hands once for the camera?
That's true.
And hopefully that'll lead to a more positive, ongoing relationship. We're not their mothers.
No, and
We just want the
we'll let them
record to
work
be
it out.
successful. We
Yes.
understand that the interest is the success of the record and the financial success, and of course, getting such a great product out there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I think that sounds great. Let's draft this
Yeah.
Let's get this official right now and we'll sign it.
Definitely.
It was
Absolutely.
really great working with you today.
It was so good working with you too. I'm putting in the option, and we can go ahead. This can be a preliminary. I'll go ahead and get it. If we could just do like a preliminary sign off on these terms,
I think that's
we can have
perfect.
the lawyers, package it and notarize it, and I think
Perfect.
we're good to go.
Awesome. It was so nice
Oh, it
working
was
with
such
you
a
today.
pleasure. I think we're gonna have just such a big success.
Oh, I agree.